Oh my God, I was fired. I can't say that to Harvard.
So one of my favorite clients is a first-generation immigrant from Colombia in the United States. And in his goals essay of why this particular school, he started off by talking about a very vulnerable moment for his family when they were performing in a Disney show, and the whole show was cut down by 2 hours, and he had to step up and be the stage manager so he could save his family and his country's pride. And this is how he started his goals essay. For me, this was so inspiring and bold for two reasons. One, he not only showed his vulnerability, but he brought his family's vulnerable moment and shared it in this essay, which means it told me that he was bold and fearless, and he's someone who really cared for his family. And this tied in so well to say what he wants to do next in life and how he cared about the world.
I think one of the most creative things one of my clients did was a really long time ago in a Harvard application. She decided to talk about 4 afternoons in her life that really demonstrated the kind of person that she is, which is kind, inclusive, and fun-loving. So rather than talking about amazing professional experience, which she also had, she put the emphasis on her fun-loving personality. It's also totally who she is. So when she was at Harvard, she was really well known for being the person who brings people together in a super fun way. Yeah, I have so many creative client stories that I love, but that's one that always stands out in my mind.
Right. I want to answer this question in a slightly different way, because I thought really deeply about the most creative choices that my students have made. But the most important thing is that it's the creativity started from a place of vulnerability. To have really deep creativity, you have to be willing to open yourself up, to drop judgment of yourself, and to tell your story with just so much love and appreciation. And so I think that all of my students who have been really successful in telling their stories creatively have started from that place of just curiosity and vulnerability.
In the past, I've had clients talk about times where they had to take care of a terminally ill family member despite years of verbal and emotional abuse. But the essay wasn't written from like a victim anger mentality. The applicant was really showed how they have grown and transformed their pain to be able to be open to the possibility of building a new relationship with that family member in the time that they have left. So focusing more on the opportunities for growth and transformation and relationship building rather than focusing on the past.
I've been really inspired by clients who are able to reframe setbacks or failures in their essays. And I've had a couple of clients who made some very bold choices, particularly with the Harvard essay. I remember a client recently who was very shy about having been laid off at one point in their very competitive banking career. And I encouraged them to bring out that story because their reaction to being laid off was incredible. They were incredibly resilient, they were creative, they were persistent, and they dug in their heels and they pursued another position and they made their way into their target career in private equity. And they were initially really shy about presenting this, oh my God, I was fired. I can't say that to Harvard. They wanted to sweep it under the rug. And we brought it out into the spotlight and it totally worked. And that's where they are now.
Another client has, I remember that they were very involved in diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives at work. And they talked about a time when they unintentionally said something that offended one of their diverse colleagues, and how the difficult conversations that they had following that incident really taught them to reflect and broaden their perspective and be more mindful about what they say, and how they were able to rebuild trust with that colleague over time to the extent now they're really close professional friends and have been able to work together on advancing the diversity, equity, inclusion efforts at work.
I think, well, the boldest choice that I've seen a client make in an essay was really embracing some personal life material that you might think is not appropriate for an essay. So I'm talking like family relationships, not quite in the realm of family tragedy, but something that really informed their upbringing. And a big part of what made them who they are, but feels kind of like untouchable to an extent. Like, do I talk about that in an admissions essay? And so it was a really brave choice, both in terms of the client vulnerability with what they shared, but also so taking a chance on sharing something that's not as vanilla or may not ordinarily be included. But I think it was like a really powerful moment to be so open and honest. And they got into the schools that they wanted, HBS, Stanford, all the big players. So clearly it worked out well.
You can cut that part out too. I'm losing my words.
It's great.
I can't think.